Okay, hello, lovely people. How are you today? If you're new here, hello. My name that I go by on this channel is Ben Mel. Under Ben Mel Productions, has been revamped a little bit, but I have not done this lipstick therapy video in a while now, and I apologize for people who have flocked to my channel when they watch that video, especially my most successful one about how to be a modern day siren. Welcome back, sirens. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Lipstick Therapy. Basically, the series involves me talking about a topic of my choice and sharing this pretty color that I have on my lip for you. And I have it right here. It's with Milani. Can you see it? I know you can. Okay. In the color more matte. It's a beautiful color. Wearing it now, obviously. Goes perfectly with my pink blazer. And I got a little haircut and a little makeover, but I'm still just as feminine as me. So let me jump right into the topic for today. Today I'm going to be giving 5 tips on how to tell what attachment style your man is, or your date, the guy that you're dating is. Okay? Have you ever wanted to know that before you went into deep? We all have like a type, don't we? Me personally, I tend to attract a lot of avoidant men, but fun fact to all my sirens out there, it's actually very common for men to be avoidant. It kind of goes with the territory of their masculine energy and being avoidant, especially when it comes to love. This being a misogynistic society built on patriarchy, it is not a surprise that that's the case, but I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to tell what type of attachment style you're dealing with. Your 5 tips are going to involve you presenting things to him, and then depending on how he reacts will tell you the type of guy you're dealing with. Okay, so the first one, I want you to bring him some good news. Specifically something that you've achieved or accomplished. Good news of any kind. This is important because only specific types of attachments are going to react in certain ways. All right, so I'm going to give you the trifecta. We're going to start off in these series of tips with what the avoidant would do, the secure type would do, and what the anxious type would do, depending on the reaction. Okay, so the first one I've said involves bringing him good news. If he is an avoidant, he's probably not going to be that excited. He's going to say, okay, that's good, that's great, congrats. Kind of dry, almost sarcastic, not because he's trying to be mean, but because it doesn't matter to him. Avoidant men tend to all have these kind of tendency of everything is about me. So if you have something good going on in your life and you tell him and he is very nonchalant about it, then guess what? More likely than not, you've got yourself an avoidant man. We're going to swing way over to the right and go into the anxious type man. If you bring good news to an anxious man, he is going to become your cheerleader. Oh my God, that is excellent. Even if he's not super excited about it, he's going to want to dig. He's going to ask you, wow, what is it that you accomplished? Like, how long were you working on it? Like, that's amazing. That's awesome. I'm so proud of you. He's going to butter you up. Why? It may seem like a sweet thing, but anxious types really make a big deal out of your accomplishments because they really want to impress you. So then the idea of it is, I'm on my very best behavior, this person won't leave me, which is a trigger for anxious types. Or to the least, I really don't want them to be confused about how I feel about them. So I'm going to really make sure I tell this person how proud I am of what they've done, because I want them to know that I care. It is an anxious reaction, unfortunately. It sounds great, but if you just met, this is preferably if you're dating, not if you're in a relationship. This is something you do as a preventative step or something to see kind of into the future. So if the guy you just met is overexcited, he's probably most likely anxious. Now, we're going to go back into the middle and go to the secure type. Secure guy would say, that sounds really great. Congratulations. What are you going to do to celebrate? What are you going to do? You know, what's next on the itinerary for you? He's going to seem interested, but he's not going to seem so dedicated to it, you know, because he just met you. It's awesome. That's great. He may even compliment you on having goals and say, that's actually really attractive. I find that attractive that you set goals for yourself and you're able to achieve them. That's a very attractive trait in you, and I'm happy that you were able to accomplish that. That's a secure response to good news that you bring to your guy. Second thing you're going to do to find out what kind of attachment style you're dealing with is you're going to bring him some sad news. Or to the least, you're going to tell him that your day didn't go that well. Same sequence. Your avoiding guy is a little bit different. He might say something that sounds a little insensitive or trying to tough you up, right? Toughen you up, that is. So he may say something like, oh, well, we all have them. Oh, well, you know, it happens to the best of us. He'll try to gloss over your emotional experience as though it's not a big deal and it's just something that happens to everyone, and that basically you should just get over it. That's your avoidance, right? Oh, well, or he may turn the whole thing around on himself and say, yeah, I had a bad day too, and then immediately get to talking about his bad day. He probably won't ask you about your bad day. Sorry. So on that note, the other end of it, your anxious type guy is going to want to be like, oh my God, you want to go out for a drink? You want to hang out for a second? You want me to come over? Do you want me to call? Like, he's going to get very much like, oh my God, my person has a problem. I have to fix it. Like, I have to fix it, or I have to at least try my best to show them that I give a damn. I have to do something. I have to fix this. It's my duty now. They will take your anxiety and put it onto themselves and then assign themselves the task of fixing it. If they're secure, a little mixture of both. Oh, wow, you know, bad days do happen, but I mean, if you want to talk about it, then we can. I'm sorry that happened to you, but just simply acknowledge, wow, that's really sad. Depending on the nature of whatever happened, they may still want to talk to you. You know, you can call me if you like, if you're comfortable talking. I know everybody processes sadness a little differently, but if you feel like talking, then I'm here for you if you need me. The third thing you're gonna do to find out what type of attachment style you're dealing with when you're dating this guy is you're gonna disappoint him on purpose. This is gonna scare you at first, but it's not something dramatic. I don't want you to lie to him or anything like that. But you're gonna let him down on purpose. A minor disappointment. It could be something as simple as you're not gonna text him back right away, or you're not gonna pick his call up, or if you all meet up, you're gonna be just a little late. I'm gonna tell you right now, as a siren, you have to have the spine enough to do these things if you wanna know who you're dealing with. If you can process that it's just a guy, and if he really likes you, that's not gonna chase him away. You should be able to push past this. It's just gonna trigger him a little bit. You have to trigger him. So I'm gonna explain why it's important to trigger him. The trigger is going to reveal what you're really going to be dealing with. It's not meant to be a deal breaker. Just something that helps you measure whether or not you can handle this dynamic with him as far as romantic relationships go. Sirens understand that there's a flaw that she has to deal with in her man, no matter what, no matter who he is, because he has to deal with yours too. So that's why it's important. It's important to see before you go headlong into it. At least know what it is that you're dealing with. Again, it's not to rule him out or to say that he's a bad person or anything like that. Okay? And depending on how he responds, though, will tell you if you can handle it or not. You disappoint him and he does any of the following. You have to ask yourself, can you handle that, or immediately be done with him? Number one, he tries to chastise you. If he chastises you, you have to ask yourself, can I deal with that with him? Period. I think as a siren, as a modern day woman who wants to be feminine and present as feminine in her relationships, you have to understand that there's going to be some unsavory traits about your man that doesn't make him disposable. So let's say he does chastise you. That does not automatically mean he's out. And I think that this is what ruins a lot of women's potential to find their partner. They will immediately get him out of there. You liked everything else about him, but he chastised you. That's really a reflection on you if you dispose of him. Your avoidant guy will say, no, we're not talking. Also, he may get cold, distant. He may stonewall you if you want to talk about it. This is just how they are. Okay? I think the biggest thing that women struggle with avoidance is taking everything they do here. It's got nothing to do with you, honey. That's a lifetime of experiences. That's a childhood. That's past relationships. It has nothing to do with you, and either you're strong enough to deal with that or you're not. Yeah? Versus your anxious guy will go, he will feel weird about it. You'll make him very uncomfortable, and he will maybe shut down. Maybe he will stop talking. Or if he does talk, he'll be very short with you. And then when you ask him what's wrong, he will say nothing. Nothing. He won't want to talk about it because he doesn't want to upset you. And he'll frustrate you though, because he'll be acting funny and just is weird, right? Because you made him uncomfortable and he doesn't know how to express it. So both of them struggle with communicating in some way. Yeah. Or on the other end of that spectrum, the anxious type can really double down on you, right? If you get one of those very expressive, anxious types, they will act like you betrayed them, but they will play a victim. Actually, both of them can end up doing that. Avoidance and anxious types can do that, but it's the way it's done. So your anxious type will have a pity party. I don't know if I can be with someone like that. I mean, you're so mean, right? Versus your avoidant guy will be like, I'm a good person and this is how you act. I don't know if this is gonna work. I need a minute. If they talk, it would be something like, I'm the prize here and how dare you disappoint me. So that one is a big one. Any kind of letting them down is a good way to tell what type of attachment style they are. Due to the length of the video, I decided to split it into 2 parts so that it wouldn't bore the hell out of all of you. So stay tuned for part 2 coming soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.